when we thought about who are the people who are actually help in generating the revenue in a user-generated video sharing platform, we came up with a concept of watch time units. Basically, what happens is when you create a video, you create watch time units, and somebody who is watching that video, they are consuming watch time units. When they consume watch time units, the advertising rolls in. Otherwise, the advertising actually doesn't happen. Doesn't matter how good is your content, if people don't watch it, the advertising doesn't roll in, and if the advertising doesn't roll in, the money is not produced. So in our model, when the money gets produced, a lion's share of that revenue goes towards the creator of the watch time units. Whatever remains as a balance, 30% of that goes back to the consumer of the watch time units, because they are consuming the watch time units. That means they are watching it, and from there we are able to capture the data points and create the social profile of a viewer, and because of that the advertising rolls in. So they actually form a very integral part of the entire ecosystem. In a traditional digital media landscape, the people who actually create the network effect, who actually keep engaged in the platform, they don't get rewarded for their engagement, and because of their engagement, the platform generates their revenue and distribute it with the creator, and the rest they keep it for themselves. But I think that the viewers, the watchers, the users who are engaged in a platform, who create the network effect, they are also a very integral part of this ecosystem, and they should get rewarded for their watch time. The entire concept of privacy actually came from there globally, because when you are engaged in a platform, you are not giving a consent for somebody to use your data point and keep monetizing on that data point, where you don't get a single share of that. On Likestage, actually, by creating an equitable distribution of revenue, also addresses the privacy point,
Sure.
to some extent.
Right. So how exactly does it work? Say I'm a content creator, I'm putting up my content on the platform.
So what happens is, as a content creator, you start monetizing from day one. As soon as you put up a content and people start watching, you start accumulating the watch time units. Basically, your content then start accumulating the watch time units, which is being consumed by the people who are watching, and based on the accumulation of the watch time units, the revenue is determined based on how many ads are running, and then every day you can actually identify how much your content has generated, what revenue, and based on that you get your share, and whatever remains, a portion of that goes back to the consumer of the watch time units who have spent time to watch your content, and then the rest remains with the platform.
So how do you make money?
So that's what it is. So what happens is that if you produce 1 rupee, and out of that, let's say 50% or 55% goes back to the creator of the watch time units, whatever remains is the 45 paise. Out of that 45 paise, the 30% of 45 paise goes back to the consumer of the watch time units, and the rest remains with us.
Okay.
So this is just an example of a calculation.
Yeah. So how many subscribers do you have currently? How many content
So we
creators?
are just born, actually, a few months back.
And this is just in the States?
No, this is actually, we have launched in US, in India.
Okay.
Anywhere in the world people can watch it, but we have restricted our sign up right now in India, because we are trying to make the user experience better. We are trying to make the earning experience better, because in in a platform like us, three things are most important. Your experience of watching a content, your experience of uploading a content, that means pushing a content on the platform, and your experience of earning from this entire exercise. So these three experience, if we can make it very seamless and very easy to understand for a creator, for a viewer, that makes Likestage would make it a very favorable destination for a lot of creators. And it's not that you can keep pushing your content any other platform, but what happens is that when somebody watches your content on Likestage, they get rewarded for their watch time.
Yeah. So how do you plan to grow? What's the game plan in India? Are you looking to expand to more, your global footprint?
Yes. Right now we are bootstrapped. One of our core businesses is advertising, which we have been running for the last 18 years. And we have an advertising business in US, UK, and in India. We want to test it based on our advertising clients, which we have been serving for many years now. And once we reach a certain critical stage, in terms of the creator, I would say the creator numbers and the user numbers in India, we would start looking at how we can start serving ads for our clients. We aim to launch like stage end of April or May first week in US. US is one of our biggest market because we have been there for the longest period of time, and we see that how it is very difficult to get attention of people and how the entire media consumption habits are changing from traditional linear model to user-generated video platforms, and there are not many players in that space, and we want to see how it can help in making creators to earn.
All right, good to have you. Thank you for explaining your business and wishing you all the best.